Could you see me dancing?
Yeah, dude, I can always see you down in the little thing. I can always see you.
What's up, man?
So if you like picked your nose down there, like I got eyes on you.
Dude, that threw me off a couple of shows ago. You're like, you could see me, and it like when
We've
I put
been
the,
doing
when I
this
put
for
the
a
hat
while.
on. Yeah, but I can't see you during those times, so I figured you couldn't see me either.
Oh yeah, no, because I'm the host, you know what I mean. So
You got eyes.
I got eyes everywhere.
Yeah, I had my silly hat on.
Yeah, you thought you were surprising me, but I saw your ass, which is
really
arguably
did.
funnier.
It was,
I
yeah.
saw you putting it on. Oh man, what's up, dude?
What up, man? Happy St. Patty's Day,
Dude. Yeah, I guess happy St. Pat. It's such a weird holiday, right? Because it's like, what's it for? You know, motherfuckers just be drinking.
Yeah, dude. Like, and it's funny. It's like it fell on Tuesday. It was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do celebrations last weekend and this weekend.
Yeah, that's stupid. You know what that is? Is fucking amateur hour. Just for alcohol. Like, stay away from a bar on St. Patty's Day.
True.
You don't want to be, you know what I mean? If you're like someone who's just trying to have like a chill, low key time, it's the same thing for like the day before Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
Like, especially if you're like in your hometown, everyone's home.
Dude,
which actually isn't an awful thing if you can kind of like have some unexpected like link ups with some people you haven't seen in a while, but it can be awful if it's people that there's a reason you haven't talked to them since high school. You know,
dude, I mean, I remember very well going out on Thanksgiving Eve when I was 21, and I wouldn't have wanted to have been somebody else around me on that night, though. You know what I mean?
Damn. So you just acting a fool or what?
Nah, just in like viable to do whatever. I was at Maynard's.
Oh,
it was a time.
Sounds awful, man.
I mean, it was fun. It was great for me.
We've come a long way since 21. You know, the idea of even going out anymore is just unattractive to me.
Dude, going on Thanksgiving Eve sounds brutal.
It's for the young folks anymore. Same with St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, that's not me. Let them go.
So, you know, St. Patty's Day, March, every year in the horror space, people talking about Leprechaun.
That's all there is, right?
It's why we're doing this show. You know, same with February with My Bloody Valentine. And, you know, if Valentine's Day was questionable for whether or not it warrants a horror film, Leprechaun is an example that St. Patrick's Day is not built for one horror film, let alone 8 of them.
Possibly 9.
So we're gonna get into that. What's unique about this show is that usually you and I are watching movies that I have already seen and you're watching for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
With this particular instance, we thought it would be funny if we watched all the Leprechaun films, which I've never seen any of them before, and I'm starting to realize that there was a reason for that. But the way we decided to do it is that we didn't watch like all 8 together.
Each.
Yeah, so Tyler took the odds and I took the evens. And we kind of handed it off like a baton. I think we actually watched a Leprechaun movie like on the same night. Every night, like when you were watching one, I was watching one.
It kind of did end up like that.
It was almost by necessity because I put them off to the last minute. You know, I literally watched the last one last night.
Yeah. Same.
And we're gonna talk about them, man.
Dude, we're gonna piece this story together. I got questions. I don't know if you got answers, but I got questions, bro.
Dude, I don't have answers for you. Like guaranteed, I don't have answers for you.
Like I have one really big, specific, recurring question, and yeah.
So the Leprechaun franchise, you got Warwick Davis in here, which get your bag, Warwick Davis. I have nothing but respect for this guy. He's also in Star Wars, as well as Willow, right? Movie we talked about back in our So the man was working and he found his lane and he operated well in it. And for what these movies ask of him, he does it. And he's kind of like Robert Englund of the Leprechaun series because, you know, with the exception of I think 2 of these, he's the Leprechaun in all of them.
Yep.
And he's very personable. He's got a big personality. He's making jokes. He's killing people. So there's a bit of a comp there where he's a charismatic killer.
Definitely.
So, yeah, man, I think we should just jump right into this. And since you took the odds, you got to watch what I have a theory. I think you got to watch the good ones. We'll see.
Dude, maybe, man.
The ones that I hear are good are the ones that I didn't get to watch.
Oh, really? Interesting.
We'll get into it. So tell me about Leprechaun 1, man.
Leprechaun 1. What year is this? It's 90?
Got me, dude.
I pull up Leprechaun 1. Yeah, give me the year real quick. I'm kind of, if that's what you're looking up. I think it's 90.
I'm giving us a banner.
Hold up. Because this is relevant. I should have looked. Leprechaun first. Movie 93.
Okay.
I pull up first Leprechaun. I don't know anything about it, right? I had seen one scene of one of these very briefly as a kid that was really scary for me at the time. Did not like it, really stuck with me. And then I saw it again, obviously during this watch through, and I was like, bro. So we'll get to that. That's not yet though. But first Leprechaun, 1993. Dude, this stars Jennifer Aniston.
I did know that.
I did not know that.
I did know that.
I was like, oh, all right. Like, I'm assuming, I don't know when Friends started, but I'm assuming this is a pre-Friends Jennifer
This was definitely
Aniston.
before Friends, brother. This was like what gave her career. So many actors get their start in horror films, and then they never, ever address them ever again.
So there's that. So we got Jennifer Aniston. She's super young. You can tell she's kind of like green, but she's good. She's fun. She's got great fits on. She's fitted the whole movie.
Oh, really? Damn, I want to see that.
Fitted the whole movie. A lot of the cast has fitted this whole movie. So let me give you the setup real quick.
Yeah, I need context because going into 2, I'm like,
dude. So the very, very first shot of this is like interior shot of a cave, and Leprechaun. I'm just gonna call him Leprechaun the whole time.
That's as far as I'm aware. That's his name. You just call him Lep if you want to.
Lep Warwick. So Warwick's walking down these stairs in like this little cave, and then he reaches behind him and does this little motion, and this little like magical sound, like do 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 do, kind of goes off, and like the light closes off as if he walked into a cave and like sealed it, right? And there's like a this rainbowish light behind him. It's a very nice, like very like feels like a shot that could have been out of like an 80s fantasy film, like Never Ending Story type of vibe. And then he goes and he counts his gold, and he's sitting there, and there's this magical music playing, and I was like, oh, like this is interesting. And then we get this, then we cut to the shot of this guy pulling up to his house. Old guy pulls up to his house in a limousine, gets out, he's all giddy, older dude, and goes and talks to his wife, and she's like, yo, like he has like a bottle of like alcohol, and he's like all fired up. He tips the limo driver, and his wife is like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is this limo? Why are you all excited? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, like, I ran into this leprechaun. I took his gold. We're rich now. And she's like,
just like that?
Just like that. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, like that, like, yes. And she's like, all right, that's fucking crazy. He goes inside, and these shots are like nice though. So literally my fourth note, I kind of annotated. I didn't even just take notes. I kind of just annotated these whole movies for whatever reason.
Dude, I did not do that. Just so you know, I did not do that. I took no notes.
You don't need to.
Okay. I feel bad because it seems like you put in more effort than I did. And I just feel bad because the results were not worth it.
No, it's fine. Dude, so my fourth note is, wait, this might be kind of good? ? And then, so they go inside, and the husband, I won't walk through the whole thing. Let me just give you the setup. So the husband walks away into the bedroom, whatever. And the wife, she's older. She's like, yo, you need to chill. Go get ready for bed. I'm going to make you a hot cup of tea. Like, you need to relax. And I was like, word. Like, I fuck with all this, right? And then so she's in the kitchen, and then she hears like a little kid voice like singing a nursery rhyme, and she's like, "Hmm," and I'm like, "Hmm," right? And then so she like walks back into the living room. It's all dark and spooky, and the husband's suitcase is on the ground, and then she like starts walking all like slow towards it, and this nursery rhyme is getting louder. And then when she gets to the suitcase, it opens up, and Warwick Davis jumps out, and and then she's like backs up, and this is a theme. She's not that scared. Like she's confusingly so up until this point, I was like, oh, like maybe we got something. And then right at this point, I was like, this lady's not scared of this monster right now. But she's kind of like backing up slowly from it, and he's just kind of like walking towards her and like mentioned something about like his shoes. And then she fucking falls down the basement stairs and dies.
Wait, she dies from that?
Dude, she dies.
That's dope.
And then the husband comes out and he's strapped up, right? And he's like, oh, and Lep is, he's like, where's my gold? Give me my gold back. And he's like, no, it's mine. And he's firing at Lep. His aim is awful. And eventually, somehow he gets, I forget how it happened, but somehow he gets Leprechaun into a box, like a crate, like a wooden crate down in the basement, and manages to seal it up. And he puts a little 4-leaf clover on top of it, and for whatever reason that means that like the Leprechaun can't break out of the box. And then old guy goes back upstairs, and he douses gasoline on the box and up the stairs, and he's gonna light this match, but then Leprechaun makes him like have like a stroke or something. He doesn't kill him, but he's like about to light this match, and then he's just like, oh, and like and just passes out. And then that scene is done, right? And then everything goes downhill from here.
So that's our setup of the film.
That is our setup. That's the first time we meet Leprechaun. And now we're like 10 years later. Jennifer Aniston and her dad are driving to this house somewhere in like the hills of California or like Arizona or something. Jennifer Aniston is like, say 21. She lives in LA. She's having a summer with her dad. She's bummed about going to like this country house. They get to the house. Jennifer Aniston goes down. They immediately go into the basement because why not? And you can see the crate, right? They have like the shot of the crate and this old, like little like wrinkly 4-leaf clover, and a tarantula walks over it, which is actually like kind of a sick shot. And then Jennifer Aniston goes down there and she's like, "Fuck this! I'm not staying at this house." And you realize that it's the house that the first scene took place in, right? But this is like years later.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, fuck it, I'm not staying here. So she goes to get into the car to leave. She was going to go get a hotel. But then she runs into this guy who's there like fixing up the house. And he's like this hunky, cute guy. And so she's like, oh, word. Like, okay. Like, all right. Like, I can say, like, okay, I'll stay here. And so there's this guy, I forget his name, but we'll call him the hunky guy. He's there, and he works for a company called 3 Guys Who Paint. And it's him, a literal like 11-year-old, and then this like other like 30-year-old dude who's like really dumb. And the 30-year-old dude and the 11-year-old dude are doing like an Of Mice and Men kind of thing, where like the kid is like really smart and is like the brains of this whole operation with these 3 guys. And then they have like the 30-year-old dude who's kind of just like lugging stuff around, and he's very dumb. And then the hunky guy is just like a painter, right? So they're all working together.
Is his name Ozzy?
Yes.
Okay.
Does he come back in other stuff?
Dude. Leprechaun 8, also known as Leprechaun Returns, is a direct sequel to this film.
God.
And I haven't seen it. So I'm watching Leprechaun Returns with no context to anything that's happening. Leprechaun Returns follows the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character.
Dude.
So I needed to tell you that because they make a big deal about this Ozzy guy coming back. And I'm like, is he in the first movie? And then you kind of described him, and I was like, that sounds like him.
That's him.
And it's the same actor and everything. So
that's Ozzy. The little kid is Alex. Look at Alex and Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy goes into the basement at some point, sees the leprechaun, gets scared, runs back outside, and then they kind of all get into like a scuffle. So it's like the 4 of them. It's Jennifer Aniston, the 3 Guys Who Paint, and then Jennifer Aniston's dad. Jennifer Aniston's dad gets bitten in the hand by the leprechaun, but he doesn't see him. He's like reaching into a tree trying to like, they think it's a cat running around, but it's actually the leprechaun.
Okay.
And so he reaches into a tree and he's like, "Here, kitty," and the leprechaun just fucking like just bites like the side of his hand off. So they rush him to the hospital, and then he's just out of the movie. Like he's just gone from the movie. He never shows back up.
Who is this again?
Jennifer Aniston's dad.
Okay, so she's effectively on her own after this.
Yeah, well, she has the 3 guys who paint still with her.
Right, and they're just hanging around, or what?
Yes, dude, they never go home. I was like, so like the hunky guy, obviously he's gonna stick around, right? He's like, he's like, they got a thing going on. Him and Jennifer Aniston. Right. He's gonna stay, but Alex, who again is like 11, and Ozzy are just there, and they never go home. They just hang out. So Ozzy thinks he sees the leprechaun in the basement. I'm gonna try to speed through this. He thinks he sees a leprechaun in the basement.
We got a lot of movies.
Yeah. I think it's an important one to set up, though.
No, 100%.
He sees the leprechaun. Nobody believes him. The dad gets bit in the hand. They take him to the hospital. Before they leave the hospital, Ozzy tells, and Alex is kind of like, kind of like trying to hear Ozzy out. And then they see a rainbow just kind of pops up, and it's actually a really cool shot of like the CGI rainbow, but it's like almost like looks like it was like hand done into the film somehow. It looked cool. And Ozzy's like, "Oh shit, it's a magic rainbow." And Alex is like, "Bro, all right, let's go see your fucking rainbow." And they go, and they find it, the end of the rainbow, and this pot of gold appears. And they're like, "Oh shit." But then Ozzy is playing with a piece of gold, and they're like, "How do we know it's real?" And Ozzy's like, "Oh, you're supposed to bite the gold to see if it's real." And he swallows a piece of gold.
Yeah, he does, because that comes back in the next movie, in Returns.
So it's
still inside of him.
Dude, that's not how it would work.
Dude, I know. I understand,
man. So he swallows a piece of gold, and then Leprechaun comes back. Jennifer, like they all get into a scuffle with the Leprechaun. Over the course of this, he has little vehicles. Does he have little vehicles in 8?
The Leprechaun?
Yeah.
Nah.
Dude, so so they have this trope where he keeps getting different small vehicles to use. There's like 7 or 8 of them over the course of the film. So first he's on a little tricycle, and then he finds this like little toy car that he's riding around, and then he like runs into the barn at some point and comes out with his other like makeshift, slightly bigger toy car. And then he drives a cop car briefly at one point, and then he's on a skateboard, and then he's in a wheelchair. Like he keeps like getting these little vehicles to get around in. It's crazy. It's so zany.
So I take it that this is not they weren't trying to make this a scary movie.
Dude, tonally, this movie is all over the place. All of these characters think they're in different movies. The hunky guy is like kind of in an actual horror film. Alex and Ozzy are in like a straight up Disney film. Jennifer Aniston has no idea what the fuck's going on. Because they even like fight him a couple times, and it's really kind of just them all just kind of smacking him with stuff, dude. And then there's a point where they're trying to evade him in a car, but he's like fucking with the car too much. So they go in and they get all these shoes from inside, and they start throwing shoes into the dirt. And then because the shoes are getting dirty, Leprechaun he's like, oh, and he goes and he's like compulsed to clean shoes. He's like a shoe maker or a shoe cleaner or something.
That doesn't come up in the other ones,
dude. So he literally like stops trying to kill them and runs and starts cleaning all of these shoes, and they're able to get away while he's like distracted by having to clean these shoes.
Dude, what is the Leprechaun lore?
Dude, and he can do voices. He can like mimic anybody's voice. Like,
that comes up multiple times.
And he can teleport.
Okay, sure.
He can teleport, and he can like make people see stuff that isn't there. and it kind of fucks with me because he has these like really powerful powers, and he doesn't really use them. Like he kind of uses them for dumb stuff, but then he's trying to but then they like evade him, but he can teleport. Dude, so at one point, so he's shining the shoes, right? I'm gonna get to the end of this in a second, but he's shining the shoes. They evade in the car, and then he teleports to catch back up with them. But instead of just teleporting into the car, he teleports to directly behind the car wearing roller skates. So he has roller skates on, and he's holding on to the back of the car. and they're able to like shake him, and he literally like wow and smashes through a fence and leaves like a perfect like his silhouette like perfectly.
Come on, man. What are you telling me right now?
Dude,
What
so
are you talking about?
so this is the movie, and then and then they're like, okay, they're like, we need to go find the old guy that used to own this home. He must have put the leprechaun in the box. He'll know what to do. They go, they find him. He's dying because Leprechaun like just killed him, so he's like bleeding out. But Jennifer Aniston finds him. He's in an elevator. He's somehow in the elevator, but he's like dangling from the roof of the elevator, just like bleeding out, and scares Jennifer Aniston. She looks really scared in the scene. Like actually, it was good, and she's like, "Oh my god," naturally scared. And he's like, "Yo, there's a patch next to my house of mad 4-leaf clovers. You got to put one on him." And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You need to go find a 4-leaf clover, put it on the leprechaun, and then you can kill him." And she's like, "All right, whatever." So go back. The whole gang's together again. They're scrambling for these 4-leaf clovers. Jennifer Aniston's freaking out, and Ozzy's like, "Yo," and she's like, "We're never gonna do this." And Ozzy's like, "Yo, you need to believe." And she's like, "Fuck you, Ozzy. Like, we're all about to die from this leprechaun." And he's like, "Nah, for real, you need to believe." And she's like, "Oh, so I'm just gonna get one." And then she grabs one, and she actually finds a 4-leaf clover. And then they're fighting again, and then Alex takes the 4-leaf clover and like chews it into like a little like spitball and puts it into a slingshot. And he goes, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," and fucking slingshots this 4-leaf clover into Lep's mouth. And he like swallows it and falls back into like this well next to the house. And then he kind of crawls back up, and he's like all like melt. It's kind of sick. He's like all fucking melting and stuff. And then the hunky guy like douses him in gasoline and pushes him back into the well. And then they light the well, and then it like fucking explodes. And then as soon as that happens, then all the cops show up that they were trying to contact earlier.
Of course.
There were also, let me make sure I didn't miss anything important. This was 5 times sillier than I thought it was going to be. Nobody's ever afraid of the leprechaun. Dude, they use this whoosh transition multiple times in the film. Like a stock, like when you think of like a whoosh, like where like it's like one shot flips and the other one, you know what I mean? Like almost like a PowerPoint transition.
Yeah, we see that in one of the later ones.
With like a literal like whoosh sound effect. They literally use that multiple times. Yeah, tonally all over the place. They weren't really sure like what was going on yet, but yeah, dude, that's Leprechaun 1.
So at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to like rank all 4 of the ones that you saw.
Yeah, okay.
And then together we should be able to kind of piece together like which ones are the best.
I think we do that.
We got 6 Feet Down South. What's up, fellas? Leprechaun is some good cheese. Rest in peace, Mark Jones, writer, director, creator of the franchise. He just passed away recently, I think.
RP Mark. What's up, 6 Feet?
Good to have you here. If you're not sure what we're doing, Tyler and I split up the movies. So he watched the odd ones, and I watched the even ones, and we're going to try to figure out what the hell is going on. Neither of us had ever seen any of them. Yeah, dude, these are movies that I remember. Like, I feel like these covers used to be scary in the video store. Like just Leprechaun like looks kind of creepy on the cover.
Yeah.
But like it's an inherently silly premise. Like it's like a Jack Frost situation where it's like they're taking something that's normally very like silly or like kid friendly.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms. Like, and then they're kind of like, what if it was scary? And then they don't actually try very much to make it scary. So it's just a silly thing, but it's like you can literally make a horror film out of anything.
Yeah, this felt like a Disney or like a, you know what it felt like an ABC Family scary movie from like the 90s. Aside from the occasional
what it is minus the ABC thing.
Yeah, aside from the occasional like kind of gory thing, that's effectively what this was.
So the movie ends with him in the well.
Yeah, he like fully melts and then the well explodes.
Okay.
So I'm curious as to how 2 starts.
The best to me are the first 3, with part 3 being my favorite. So people say part 3 is the best one.
Interesting. Okay.
We're gonna see what you think of that when we get there.
Okay.
So Leprechaun 2 starts out in a flashback. I had to pull the Wikipedia page up just so I mostly remember, but if I'm lacking any detail, I'll defer to that.
Yeah.
It starts with a flashback, and it's like the year 900 in Ireland, like ancient Ireland, and it's the Leprechaun, and he's looking for the plot of this one is he wants a wife. Is that in the first one? Okay. So in this flashback, he's like fucking around with this dude, basically just kind of tormenting him. And he's like, okay, so it's his slave. And he makes this guy his slave, and he's messing around with him. And he basically is like, hey, he casts a spell that if this guy's daughter, because his daughter's bad, he's like looking at his daughter from across the way. And he's like, dude, if she sneezes 3 times, then she's got to be my wife.
All right.
And they're watching her, and she's like doing laundry, and there's like a gust of wind coming, and she sneezes twice, and then the leprechaun wafts some magic towards her so that she fucking sneezes again.
It's bullshit.
Without anyone saying God bless you. I forgot about that.
Interesting little social commentary. Okay.
So okay. So the dad of this daughter says God bless you, which stops the whole thing from happening. But the leprechaun kills him and then says, on my next 1000th birthday, so this is like 1,000 years later, I will marry a descendant of his daughter. So it's the same actress, I believe. But it may or may not have been. This was a tough watch for me. I'm gonna be so for real with you, dude. And so we fast forward to the 90s, and we meet like this young dude named Cody who looks like he would be on a Disney Channel original movie. And he's like courting this girl. And they kind of are like trying to hook up. And he runs like a tour bus thing. I believe it's also set in California, and it's like a haunted tour that he runs. So he's like on the street, like trying to get people to come do this tour. And his pitch is terrible. But he manages to get some people involved. And he has this friend who also does the tour with him, but he's like an old guy. And he's like an alcoholic. So like that's his boy. And dude, I'm struggling to remember what the fuck. I should have taken some notes. So basically the leprechaun comes back and he's like, okay, it's his 1000th birthday. And he's trying to get her to become his bride, basically. So he steals her at some point. He has like this underground lair, which looks, kind of cool. And he's just got her in there at a certain point in the film. And the dude has to like go there and set her free, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, dude, this shit was bad. And
he's not even trying to get his gold.
It's not a big part of this movie.
Interesting.
Surprisingly, that I can recall. But the thing that was interesting about this was that I didn't know what the ties were to the first movie, so I didn't know if like him trying to find a wife was a part of, like, if he was trying to make Jennifer Aniston his wife, or anything like that. So it seems like that part just kind of comes, like they just kind of made that up as like a thing to do in the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was also the last theatrical one. All the other ones,
oh really, went
straight to VHS essentially. Yeah. This movie did have some, like, conceptually some cool things going on, because there's this one scene where the leprechaun is like fucking with this dude, and he can make him see stuff. So
Yeah.
what the leprechauns, or what this dude sees, is like a hot chick. It's the main girl, actually. He's like this antagonist dude who's like trying to steal Cody's girl, who is the descendant of the guy or the girl that he was trying to marry.
Mm-hmm.
So this antagonist dude is, pining after this girl. So the leprechaun is making him see her, but what it really is like an upside down lawnmower with the blades whirring. And well, that's what it is. But what he sees is that chick, and she's like naked. And it's weird because like you see the chick and she's like starting to unbutton her shirt, and then it cuts from that to like a girl like from the head down with her like, and she's nude, so it's like very clearly like a body double. Like it wasn't that girl, like you never see her, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was odd to me. And then like, but so like I was like, oh, okay, like, is this what this franchise is like, kind of like making people see things that aren't actually there and like killing them in cool creative ways like that? No, because
not really.
They take that, which is a cool idea, and then you see like a silhouette of him mashing his face into this lawnmowers thing with like a splatter of blood hitting the wall. Like it's off screen.
You never really,
you don't even actually see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
There are effectively no actual kills in one aside from the lady falling down.
Really?
The stairs, and then the old guy getting killed off screen before you get there at the end. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. So
how does it end? What's the very end? Because I got questions.
Oh, okay. So I just want to make sure I'm getting this all right. I want to make sure I understand the logic of these films. Let's see. So there is actually some stuff with the coin. There's like the gold coins of the leprechaun has. I totally forgot about that. So Cody finds one of the coins, and because he has it, he's like able to ask the leprechaun for 3 wishes or something.
Okay.
And if he gives him back the gold, then he has no power over him or something. And they do like this whole thing where the leprechaun disguises himself as the girl and is trying to convince Cody to give him back the coin. And he does it, and it's supposed to be like this big reveal where the girl starts talking, but with the leprechaun's voice. And it's like, oh, like you fucked up, like you shouldn't have given it to me because it was actually me and not her. And then he's like, actually, it was a chocolate gold coin. It wasn't actually a gold coin.
You switch out the coin.
Yeah, so that's like their big twist or whatever. And then yeah, it's like a whole thing. And then yeah, they stab him with an iron stake, I think, and it like causes him to explode. And then they just kind of run out, and then they kiss, and that's kind of the end.
All right, that one sounds kind of rough. Not gonna lie.
I thought it was going to be better than it was. I truly did. Because usually these things start off kind of good,
yeah,
and then they get worse as they go along.
This just seems like it's going to be spotty then, actually.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for butchering how much of this movie is actually like what's actually going on here, because I really did. Like, I'm usually a lot more prepared with these. like I actually understand them a lot better.
Yeah. No.
But we got to move it along. So tell me about Leprechaun 3.
Dude, so 3, definitely enjoyed 3 but more than 1. It's definitely a more fun film. And there are some good, albeit ridiculous, kills in this film. So 3 starts off. We're in Vegas, which is very surprising to me because I was like, this doesn't. Not that California is like necessarily like a horror setting, but Vegas is like not what I think of as a horror setting. Um, this girl is on the side of the road. Her car is broken down. This dude sees like this hot chick. Naturally, he's like, skirt, goes pick her up. And she's like, hey, I'm going to work. Can you bring me? He's like, yeah, I bet. And she works at some casino. They drive into Vegas. He's like driving through, I forget where he's going to or coming from, but he's like driving to college and drives this girl to work. And he's like, yo, can I come inside? And she's like, no, like, don't go to Vegas. Like, don't come into Vegas. You're not old enough to gamble. Don't fuck around. Like, go to college. And he's like, yo, come on, though. And she's like, fine. And so she lets him come inside and he goes into the casino and he's like enthralled with like the casino, right? And he runs back out to his car and he grabs this check that he has of college money. He has $23K and he goes into the casino. Dude, he just gets it, like swaps it all for casino chips, right? So that's going on. Okay. And then entirely separate of this, down the street, there's a pawn shop. And this sketchy guy comes into this pawn shop and he has this leprechaun statue with an amulet around it, like a gold amulet around it. And he pawns it for like $20 or something. And he tells the guy, he's like, yo, don't take that necklace off the leprechaun. And the guy's like, all right, whatever. Sketchy guy leaves. Pawn shop guy immediately takes the necklace off the leprechaun, naturally. And he's like looking at it. And he goes and I think he goes to like put the necklace into a safe and like close up the shop for the night. And then this tricycle kind of just like rides into the store on its own and like knocks into him while he's at the safe. And he kind of like looks up for a second and looks around the shop. And then he just shrugs it off, which is crazy. Like, it's just crazy.
Real quick, we got Eli. What's up, bro?
What up,
Thank
Eli?
you for joining us. People like Leprechaun 3, man.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah, please continue.
So that happens, and then they fully like confront each other. And this guy's like, oh shit. And again, he's not like terribly scared to see the leprechaun. He's kind of just confused as to like what he is. Multiple times over the course of the series, people are like, what is this? And he's like, I'm a leprechaun. And it's like crazy to me because I'm like, this dude is clearly, he's very obvious. He's clearly got the shoes. He's got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's Warwick Davis. He's leprechaun. So Warwick's makeup is a lot better than in the first one. It's like the character design overall. They just like really, they nailed it.
Yeah, it changes a little bit from movie to movie, I've noticed.
Yeah. So for the first like third, if not half, probably like say 35-40% of the film, the leprechaun and the pawn shop owner are just duking it out in the shop. And the leprechaun owner, the guy is trying to like kill the leprechaun, and the leprechaun is trying to get the amulet away from the guy so then he can kill the guy, right? He's like afraid of the amulet. If you put the amulet onto him, he turns into stone, right? And I suspected that at the end of 2, it had to have ended like that because that's how he is at the beginning of 3. I guess that's just not the case.
Dude, there's a chance that might have been what happened. No, I mean he just he just explodes into flame, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's what happened, dude. There's a theory with these movies that's like unofficial canon that fans have come up with, is that it's a different leprechaun in each movie.
Oh, that's fun.
Who just also happens to be played by Warwick Davis. Like they all kind of look the same. It's an easy way to kind of explain the lack of continuity.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm honestly fine with that. Let's go with that.
Yeah, but, I kind of like it too, honestly.
But so that's going on. They're duking it out in the pawn shop. Our boy, I forget his name. I want to say Mike. I don't think that's right. We'll call him Mike though. Our boy Mike in Vegas sprints through his 23K, and he has no money. So now he's in Vegas. He spent all of his college money, and he's fucked. And but he has like a watch on or something, and he's still at the roulette table. And he's like, he has no money, and the lady's like, nah, like you've been on like this like cold streak this whole time. You're definitely bound to win. You should go pawn that watch, get some money, come back, maybe you'll win. And he's like, all right, well, I'm fucked now, so like, sure.
Awful advice.
So he dips to the pawn shop. Before he gets there, Lep finally gets the amulet away from the pawn shop owner, and then he like kills him, and he goes and takes a pogo stick and like jumps up and down on the pawn shop owner to kill him with the pogo stick, which is the scene I saw as a kid that fucked me up. But watching it this time, it's like you never see like a wide shot of it happening, and it's like a close up kind of shot, and it's like they're literally kind of just like just kind of lightly tapping it on top. It's very strange. Like it's all close up shots of like them kind of just tapping it on the sky, and then of Warwick kind of just like this, and but the guy dies, right? So our boy Mike shows up at the pawn shop. Nobody's there. The pawn shop owner's dead. And he's like, hello. And then he finds this gold coin, right? And he's like, all right, cool. I have like money now. And there's like this, like on the computer, there's this, the pawn shop owner had this CD of like Leprechaun lore that he like put into the computer. Like his 90s computer is kind of sick. And it's giving you the whole like Leprechaun lore background of like if you find the gold coin, then you get a wish and whatever. And our boy Mike gets the coin, and he's like, damn, like I wish I could be back in the casino right now on a hot streak. Lo and behold, he goes back to the casino, and he's fucking ripping at roulette. He cannot lose, and he like whops up, right? So that's going on. And then there's also, I forgot to mention, there's also this like the girl that we met at the beginning, or like final girl, so to speak. She is the assistant for Fazio. Fazio is the magician at the casino. And then there's this other girl, Carol. We'll call her Carol. She's like, she's the roulette wheel girl. But they're friends. Her and Fazio are friends. So they see this dude winning. The casino offers Mike a room for the night, which is an actual like realistic thing that casinos will do when somebody's ripping it, because they're like, we got to keep this guy here so then he can come back and lose his money to us eventually. And they realize that he has this gold coin. And so anyway, so then we get into this thing where Fazio and the roulette wheel girl are trying to take the coin away from Mike because they think that it's lucky, which obviously it is. And then Mike is trying to just like hold on to his money and then like eventually leave the casino, whatever. So then Leprechaun comes to the casino to like get his coin back, right? That's his whole MO in these movies, in my movies.
It seems to be the running thing.
Outside of two.
In two there was a gold coin component because they had like the whole chocolate coin thing going on.
Oh, right. He keeps getting his. What up, Saturn?
That's Mark from Saturn Video. Another Mark. We're gonna talk about that one next. That was the one I got to watch.
I'm kind of bummed that you got that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely didn't expect much. That's the thing. We did it because it was March, and there's, it's the thing to talk about. So if people like these movies or find them fun, like that's awesome.
Warwick is legitimately doing the most with what they're giving him. It's like a ridiculous premise, but he's locked in.
He's the high point of these movies. The problem with some of them is that he's like not in them that much, which was one of the ones I got to talk about or get to talk about soon. But yeah, continue.
So then from there, Leprechaun's in the casino, and he's trying to get his coin back, right? Because he has 99 of them, but he needs all of them, right? His power comes from the coin, so he needs all of his coins. He's trying to get his coins back, and then there's some cool kills. So at one point, like there's the main, like the owner of the casino, gets the coin and like wishes that our main girl, our hot girl, like he wishes that like the main girl was like into him, and then she is, right? So they go up to like his room, and then and then somebody else gets the coin though, and then wishes something, and then the girl like snaps out of it and leaves. But then Warwick goes up to the room, and he's like, there's these commercials start coming on the guy's TV that are like fake commercials, and the one is like this topless girl who's talking to the guy, and then she crawls out of the TV, and they start like hooking up on the bed, and then like so Warwick's making him see this, right? But then he sees what's actually going on, and it's a robot on top of him, like a real robot girl is on top of him, and she has like a face and maybe like fake boobs, but then the rest of her is just like metal, like, and wires, and like she's a robot, and then she like and like breaks and electrocutes him to death, and like it's such a crazy way to kill somebody. So like that's how he dies. And then our girl Carol wishes to be like young and hot again, and so Warwick like has to make her like he makes her like very voluptuous, but then he keeps going and he keeps making her more voluptuous. I mean, that's the right word, right? Yeah,
sounds right,
dude. And then her lips get really big, and her boobs and her butt start getting like really, really big, and then she fucking explodes because dude, her whole body explodes. And then Fazio, also Warwick really likes the casino. He's like gambling. He's sitting on
I feel like he would be into all of that.
Dude, he's really into it. At one point, he rolls up on Elvis, like an Elvis impersonator, and Elvis is like, "Whoa, like, do," and he like really fucks with like, he's like, "Oh, this is obviously some other guy who's dressed up, right? Who's doing like an impression or whatever." And then so they do like a whole like little rhyme scheme, and then they like hit a pose together, just like to the camera, and it's
That's
sick.
fire. That's dope.
And then Fazio is trying to do this new trick where he's gonna saw somebody in half, but then Warwick shows up and he puts Fazio into the box, and then he's like, "All right, like I'm the magician now," and he's like, "I'm gonna saw this dude in half," and then he saws him in half, like actually, and it's brutal. And he's rhyming a lot. And so I forgot. So at one point, our main guy, our kid Mike, who spent all of his college money, he's trying to get his coin back, right? He's trying to get his coin back, but he's also trying to like get with like our main girl, and they run into the leprechaun at one point, and Mike gets bit by the leprechaun, and then he starts turning into a leprechaun. And
that's a thing that can happen?
Yes, that's what I said. So he starts turning into a leprechaun, and once he's like very leprechaun looking, at one point he goes, "I'm part whatever he is," which was a crazy line because I was like, dude, yeah.
Yeah, you're part leprechaun. Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be fire.
We got Antonis Andriotis. What's up, dude?
Great name.
Good to see you. Is this a thing?
I don't remember the jazz hand specifically, but I can see it. Dude, he's sawing him in half, and the Fazio guy's just like, whoa, and like getting all bloody, and people are like, it's like kind of a classy like, it's like a where you sit at like a table and have dinner and drinks while you watch a show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people are there chilling and like dressed up, and they're not cool with this, and everybody starts leaving the theater, and yeah, so he saws him in half. Okay, and then after that happens, Brian was his name, not Mike. I'm just making shit up. Brian's our main guy, so he shows up. Him and our main girl show up, and then somehow the rest of the gold is there. I forget how, but it appears there, and I forget how, but they set the gold on fire. They're still in like the theater room. They set the gold on fire, which then sets the leprechaun on fire, and there's this incredible shot where he gets set on fire, and then he gets lifted off the floor, and he's kind of like floating around the room while he's on fire. And there's this amazing shot for like almost a second where you can fully see the harness that is on this guy or this thing. You can like fully see the harness connected to him, and the shot was long enough that they could have cut it, and I almost feel like they saw that it was there and they were like, "Nah, we should keep that in. You can clearly see it." And yeah, they set the gold on fire. Leprechaun catches on fire. He gets fully burnt. He's dead. And then Brian and the main girl are like, they got one gold coin left, and they're like, "Yo, this could be a lot of money. We could go do whatever we want. We can wish for whatever we want." And then they're like, "Damn, like." I forget what they say, but they're effectively like, "Yo, we got each other. We made it through all that. That's all we need." And they throw the gold coin into like a wishing well outside, and they leave. And that's Leprechaun 3.
It doesn't sound that bad.
It's very entertaining.
I feel like I would have enjoyed that one more.
It was a fun one. He started rhyming a lot too. I think is that the one that I watched? I think so. I think that's the one I watched last night. I agree. Yeah. 6 feet. We'll talk about that. We won't have a very long conversation about it, but we'll yeah.
Agreed. So back in the day, I don't think you'd know this channel. It's Dead Meat. He does this thing called the kill count, and he just walks you through films and talks about the kills and all of them.
Right?
That would have been probably smart.
Yeah.
So I think I watched all these kill counts like a long time ago.
Mm.
So that's how I kind of know I know Leprechaun 3 is in Vegas and all that.
Okay.
I don't remember him super well, so that's like the extent of my exposure is like 20-minute videos on these movies. Because I didn't think I was ever going to watch them. That's kind of why I would do that, right? Because if it's a movie I haven't seen, I'm not going to watch the kill count for it. But that brings us to Leprechaun in Space, which is the one that I watched.
So curious how he gets into space.
You don't know. They don't explain that. You thought they explained that?
Now that you say it, it sounds dumb. Yeah.
They don't explain it. I was hoping maybe that 3 had like some kind of no. Yeah. Okay. So like Jason X is like an example of a movie that people point to where it's like we've jumped the shark because Jason's in space. But this movie came out before that movie. Like a good 6 years, I want to say.
Wow.
This is from 96. And Jason X is like 2001, I think.
Damn.
So good bit before Jason X. And like I said, we're in straight to home direct to video at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a movie I've heard about for a while, and I kind of expected it to just be straight up ass, right? Like I don't have high hopes for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to real quick see if I can't. Okay. Am I lagging at all for you?
You are a little bit now. Yeah.
I lowered the resolution, so it should be.
You were fine earlier, then you started lagging this a little bit.
Yeah, it's like doing it on my end, but so the movie just starts and he's already in space, and there's like this alien princess, and when I say she's an alien, she kind of just has like some makeup and glitter on, and like maybe like some green eyeshadow, and she's like that. She's an alien. I think her name's Princess Zarina, and they're like both in like this chamber. It's like a rocky kind of chamber, and they're both just kind of there. We infer that the leprechaun has like kidnapped her. And he plans to marry her. So there's a bit of a through line here from 2.
Yeah.
And she kind of agrees to do it, but secretly, like she's planning to kill him, and he's planning to kill her. So like, it's not really
it's toxic.
Yeah, exactly. So have you seen Aliens?
Is that not the first one?
The first one is Alien.
I've only seen that one.
Okay, Aliens is like a space. They're doing like a Space Marines thing.
Okay.
It's James Cameron film. It's more action focused.
Gotcha.
So it follows like a ragtag crew of like Marines basically in space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like Saturn Video points out here. It is this. That's kind of what this movie is. It follows a team of these Marines who they're not even there for Zarina. They're the Leprechaun in the process of abducting this princess has like disrupted these mining operations. So they're there to like find out what's going on with these mining operations and like fix the problem, not knowing that it's a fucking leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive on the scene. They shoot the place up. They kill the leprechaun. They like blow him up, and they find her, and they're like, "Oh, this is like a princess. Like we should save her and bring her back to her family so we can get like a reward."
That makes sense.
So that's going on, and one of the Space Marines like pisses on the corpse of the leprechaun.
Bad move.
And we see like a green sort of like magical thing like fly up his pee stream into his,
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. That's not good.
I don't like that, dude.
So then they get back on this ship and they're like celebrating and stuff. All the Marines are like taking the edge off, they're drinking, they're partying. And the dude who pissed on the leprechaun like goes off with this chick and they're like hooking up. And while they're hooking up, how do I put this? He starts getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts getting excited and it's like, and then it's more than what normally would be there. The leprechaun is being birthed out of his schlong. And it starts out as like a normal, erection, I guess.
I guess.
Man. So I just want to read you what this says on Wikipedia. Unbeknownst to Kowalski, that's the name of the guy, the leprechaun spirit travels up his urine stream and into his penis where his presence manifests. Okay.
The presence manifests is insane.
Yeah. So elsewhere on the ship, the leprechaun violently emerges from Kowalski after he is aroused during a sexual act. The Marines hunt the leprechaun, who outsmarts them and kills most of the crew in gruesome and absurd ways. So,
indeed,
it's like that's just the kind of movie that this is.
Uh-huh.
There's this whole other like subplot with like this mad scientist guy who's like got one arm and his legs are like robot. Like he's got one arm, he's bald, he's got like a German accent. He's like his body, like from the torso down, is like a robot cart, like he's like on wheels.
Okay,
it's ridiculous. He wants to like absorb some of the leprechaun's fucking DNA or something like that. Like he sees him as like an experiment that he can potentially like use for. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Eventually, in the finale, the leprechaun gets hit with like a growth ray and he becomes huge. And when I say that he's huge, he's on like a miniature set, and they're like filming up at him.
Yeah,
as he like stomps around.
Is it like not done terribly well?
Of course, it's not done well, man.
Yeah, shout out Warwick, man.
So I mean, it's legitimately just an Alien ripoff. They literally shoot the leprechaun out through the airlock.
Wow.
And the whole time throughout the movie, there's like this romance going on between this like. There's this chick, but she's really smart, and there's like this soldier guy, and he's like kind of handsome and like kind of charismatic. And she like writes him off as being like, just a dumb grunt soldier. And he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're just like a," and she's like, "I'm not just like a chick, like I'm smart." So they're like, they have this like reconciliation where they're like, "Huh, there's more going on with you than I thought."
All right.
Like to both of them.
I like that.
It's awful though. Like it sucks. It's it's terrible. Oh, and you know who the chick is played by? Jackie DiNardo from Always Sunny, the big-breasted weather lady.
Really?
Yes, it's the same chick.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I spotted that right away. Clocked that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, man, this movie's like not even like for me, right? So because clearly Saturn Video enjoys it, and I respect that. I had a bad time watching this. Couldn't buy into it. And what I'm realizing is that just because I like horror films, I don't necessarily enjoy watching ones that are bad.
That's fair.
Like I can't necessarily appreciate the badness of them because that's all there is to appreciate. I'm like, I just value. That's just not what I like. My time is limited, as an adult. Like
You've only watched so many movies.
I'm trying to like play video games and read books and like watch TV shows and make videos. This was a waste of time for me watching these movies, if I'm being completely honest.
Wait, so how does he? Oh, he gets sent out in an airlock at the end.
Gets shot out into the airlock. It does have Miguel Nunez. He's from one of the Friday the 13th films. And that's Lep in Space, man. I mean, it's bad, but like, I like they're aware of it. Like they're not trying to present this as, it's for all intents and purposes an unofficial alien spoof.
Kind of Leprechaun is kind of smushed in there,
and it's like almost like that's the absurdity of that is kind of the premise, like the driving force of it is like, wouldn't that be crazy? Like it doesn't make any sense. And that's like the part, the cool part of it, I guess. I don't know. So that's Lep in Space, man.
All right. So just to confirm, at no point in Lep in Space does Warwick Davis get turned into a statue with an amulet put on him again, does he?
Dude, if that happened, I don't remember.
All right. Because you're not going to believe this. Lep 5 in the hood. You spelled the wrong.
But, right. My bad.
But Lep 5 in the hood begins, and Ice-T has a sick afro, and he is in the subway system underneath Compton with some other guy. And they're following some map that the other guy has. And they get all upset because they're like, damn, like this thing should be here. The hair's looking crazy. They're like, this thing should be here.
Hold on, I got to address this comment from Saturn Video.
Yeah. Give me a little more color on that.
I mean, that was dope. That was cool. He's right. I did neglect to mention this. The scientist guy that I mentioned with the one arm, he gets turned into a cool looking spider creature thing.
Like an It kind of thing going on?
Not really. But it's like it comes too late in the movie for me to have any kind of investment at this point. So he's right. If someone were to sing the praises of that movie, that would be something that would probably get brought up, but that's not really what I was looking to do. So
alas.
Continue.
So Ice-T and his friend are in the subways. They're upset at this map because they're like, damn, the thing should be here. And then they fall through like this like kind of like boarded up wall, and then the Leprechaun statue, like it is in 3, is like standing there and has the amulet on it again, same amulet, and the pot of gold, and then this little golden flute is on top. And so they go over, and Ice-T grabs the flute, and he's like, yo, like this is what I wanted, like you take whatever else you want and let's get out of here. And the guy's like, all right, cool. And the guy, of course, goes and takes the amulet off the leprechaun. Leprechaun comes to life. They all have a scuffle. And then it kills the one guy, but then Ice-T, being the savvy man that he is able to get the amulet back on the leprechaun. All is well. We jump forward 10 years. We meet our main trio, who are great. This is my favorite one. Spoiler alert. This is my favorite one by like a good margin.
Okay.
We meet our main trio, who are Postmaster P, Stray, short for Stray Bullet, and Butch. And they are a hip hop trio. This is like, I think 2000 ish now. I think like 2000 at this point. I've never seen Boys in the Hood, but this feels like Boys in the Hood probably came out a year before this, and then they were like, let's make Boys in the Hood, but with a leprechaun, is what this feels like.
Okay.
To an extent. So Postmaster P, Stray, and Butch are a hip hop trio. They're trying to get enough money so they can go to Vegas, fucking back to Vegas, to compete in like this like rap competition so they can get like a record deal, right? Naturally, me, I'm invested in this. I'm on board. The
100%.
characters in this movie across the board are great. The acting is, of the 4 movies I watched, this has the best acting, the best cinematography, the best directing, and just like the best like tonal consistency throughout the film of these 4, and it's not even close. Like by this point,
That's dope, dude.
like I thought this was gonna be like where it completely went off the rails, but if anything, this is the movie where they were like, you know what, like we know what this is now, we know what it isn't, we know what we got here. Let's just do this. And so these 3 guys are they're this rap group, they're trying to get to Vegas. And in this town, Ice-T, this is 10 years later, Ice-T is like this big record label exec, like big shot dude, right? And so they run into Ice-T and they get to go and like audition for him. And he like kind of likes them, but he's like, yo, you're on like this positivity thing. He's like, Postmaster P, like what kind of name is that? And Postmaster P is like, oh, like it's Postmaster Positivity. So it's like, I'm bringing you the positivity. He's like a conscious rapper, right? But dude, the music as a whole is not bad, and the beats alone are good. Like there's legitimate good beats throughout this movie. It's crazy.
Okay.
You know, that's like it, like you fuck with that too. That like the end of like R&B hip hop kind of era. The beats are good. So they audition for Ice-T. He's like, yo, I fuck with you, but I don't fuck with this positivity thing. And then yeah. Ice-T did have a sick afro in the flash. I literally have that I literally have LMAO. It's Ice-T with a sick ass afro. Dude, also, wait. Also, I skipped the very first shot in this whole film is the exact same intro sequence from the very first film, where it's like Leprechaun walking into his cave and sealing the door and counting his gold. They didn't reshoot it. They took the exact same shot, but they redubbed all the audio. So instead of it being like magical sounding and stuff, it's all like eerie sounding. It was super weird. So that happens, and then the subway thing happens, and then we jump forward 10 years. So they go to Ice-T, they audition. He's like, I kind of fuck with you, but not really. And they're like, you know what? They're collectively, Stray Bullet and Butch are down, but Postmaster P's like, nah, like I'm not doing that. So they leave. Ice-T gets all pissed off at them, and then they're like, you know what? Like we're gonna go back and we're gonna fucking rob Ice-T's place, and we're gonna steal all. He had that sick like. So they're also in Ice-T's office. And he has in his glass case in the middle of the office, he has the leprechaun statue with like the gold amulet on it. And they're like, fuck it, we're going back. We're going to steal all this shit. We'll sell it. And then we'll go to Vegas. We'll have money to go to Vegas. They need new gear. So Butch, their sound engineer, is also like really smart. He's like into science and shit. And so he had rigged up like these sparklers kind of to go off at the end of like their set at this audition that they did, but he like didn't balance it quite right, so like the whole set like explodes, and the place they're auditioning for gets really pissed off because they like blew up the stage naturally. And it's funny. It's like he's like all into science, but then he's also like the DJ. So they need new gear because they blew it up, right? They need like money to get gear and to get to Vegas. So they're like, we're gonna go. We'll rob Ice-T. We'll pawn all the stuff. We'll get the money. So they go to Ice-T's place at night. Naturally, they take the amulet off of the Leprechaun because they're gonna try to so they can sell it. Ice-T shows up. Postmaster P shoots him, even though he didn't really like mean to, and he feels really bad about it. They don't actually kill Ice-T, but they almost do. And they get away and they sell all of his stuff, right? And Postmaster P takes the little flute, right? And then so they leave, they get the money, but they're like, damn, like Ice-T. So everybody knows Ice-T. Ice-T like runs his fucking town. I forget what his name is in the film. We're gonna call him Ice-T. And they're like, yo, we like it's hard for us to even like maneuver in the town right now because Ice-T is looking for us. But while they're selling the stuff, Postmaster P blows on this flute, and when he blows on it, everybody becomes like entranced by him, and they're just like down to do like they're just like really into him and down to do like whatever like he's trying to do, right? And it's funny because they have the same kind of scene twice at two different stores, and it's like the exact same scene where he blows this flute and everybody stops and they look at him and they have a couple lines of dialogue, and it almost feels like they shot that scene twice and they meant to only use one of them, but they both come in like back to back. It kind of just happens. But they establish that this flute is magic. That all happens. Let's see. Leprechaun is now pursuing them. Leprechaun shows up at Ice-T's club, and all in the matter of a few minutes, he smokes weed for the first time with Ice-T. And then he smokes weed with him in the bathroom, and then like takes Ice-T's finger off because it has a gold ring on it. And then he's like, yo, you better go get me my fucking gold, Ice-T. And Ice-T's is like, okay. And Leprechaun goes out into the club, and he's like, whoa, like, what is this? And the bartender's like, that's hip hop. And Leprechaun's like, yeah. And at this point in the series, Leprechaun is strictly talking in rhyme all the time.
He does that earlier on too. He talks in limericks, but he kind of picks and chooses when he wants to do it.
Nope, not anymore. He's just talking. He's just talking in rhyme now.
I can't necessarily remember when he does and doesn't do this, because for me it didn't seem like there was any rhyme or reason to it.
Dude, Saturn Video knows. Yeah,
Saturn Video knows ball for sure.
Yeah, so at this point, he is strictly talking in rhyme. Yeah. So our guys are trying to get out of the town. Leprechaun is now pursuing them. He's smoking weed. He's hanging out with chicks at the bar. Our guys try to go to they go to this lady's house, and then they leave from there. Leprechaun shows up, and then they go to a church because they know like the reverend, and they need like a safe place to stay. So they go to the church, and they're like, yo, can we stay here for a night before we leave to Vegas? And the reverend's like, yeah, you can stay here, but you need to do the music for my service tomorrow morning. And they're like, damn, all right. So they start doing, so like it's church service, and they start doing like this song, and it's not really hitting because like that's not really the kind of music that they do. And because they're kind of trying to like put together this like gospel song, but it's kind of vulgar because they're like rappers. But then Postmaster P hits that flute, and then everybody's like, oh shit, all right. And then they break out into like a full song version, and it's fucking sweet. And Coolio shows up. Do you know Coolio?
Yeah.
Dude, so Coolio, not LL Cool J.
I know who Coolio is.
Coolio shows up, and I was like, oh, word, are we gonna get a Coolio verse? We don't. We get like 2-second shot of Coolio just like in the back, just looking like mad interested in what's going on, looking mad cool, like he always does. And that's that. But they did the whole song, and it's like kind of sick. And then the Leprechaun shows up. They get all into a scuffle. They manage to lock him into a safe, and then our main boys try to start leaving to Vegas. While he's in the safe, Leprechaun summons some zombie fly girls from the depth of the underworld. So like these bad chicks show up and they have like glowing green eyes, and they kind of like they're able to like somehow free the leprechaun, and then they free the leprechaun. They all go to like a hotel, and then why did they go back to him? I think they want to like they're like, before we go to Vegas, we have to kill the leprechaun, or else he's just gonna keep coming after us or whatever. Because they need the at this point. They go to an audition and they use the flute, and everybody really likes their music, but only because they have the flute, right? So I think they're like, hey, we need to get rid of the leprechaun, or else he's gonna keep trying to come and get his flute, right? So they have this standoff with him at some point, and the first actual really tense, like actually tense scene in the series so far happens, where it's our main dudes and the leprechaun and all the zombie fly girls are all in a room, and they have a gun. Stray Bullet has a gun, and okay, so Stray Bullet has a gun, and Postmaster P's holding the flute, and Leprechaun like takes control of Stray, and he makes him go and like point his gun right at Butch, like right, he like puts it like right to Butch's head, and then he's like, yo, I'll make you pull the trigger if you don't give me my flute. So then like, all right, Postmaster P gives him the flute, and then he like lets him go, and then I think Postmaster P like says some shit to Leprechaun, and he turns around and he fucking makes Stray Bullet go like this, and then he makes him fucking kill himself. And I was like, whoa. And then we get this sick shot where our main dudes drive out to like this train yard at night, and they kind of just like leave Stray in the car, and they just like leave him there, and it's like this like super grainy, like as sun is going down in this train yard shot, and it's actually like a really nice shot. So that happens, and then now they're like, all right, cool, we gotta like kill this leprechaun now because he killed our boy. And Butch realizes that Leprechaun, he learns, I forget how he gathers his intel, but he learns that Leprechaun is staying at some hotel, and he is bringing girls up to his room, and quote, I think he's fucking them to death.
It's not good, man.
So they devise this plan to dress up as girls themselves and go to this hotel in hopes that Leprechaun brings them up to his room. And Butch also gathers that if you can give the Leprechaun a 4-leaf clover, if you get a 4-leaf clover on him, you can like kill him or whatever, right? Which lines up with the lore from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so they devise this plan to dress up as girls so they can get into his room. And then Butch rolls a joint with the 4-leaf clover in it. And he's like, we're going to go up to his room and we're going to smoke this with him.
That has to happen. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
And he's like, we're going to smoke this with him and then we'll kill him. And I was like, yo, kind of a good idea. Like, all right, kind of a good idea. They go, dude. And so they're in so Postmaster P and dude, there is this song that plays during the montage where they're getting dressed up as girls. And it is one of, no lie, it plays for like 10 seconds. One of my favorite 90s R&B songs I've ever heard. And I think it was made just for the movie because I cannot find this fucking song or the artist anywhere. And it drove me insane. And it's really good. And it was driving me crazy. The artist is just Boom Brothers, which have like a couple songs on there. And I think they're literally just like, I think they literally just made the song for the movie. I don't know if it exists anywhere. It was a great song though. So then they go to the hotel and they're in the elevator, Butch and Postmaster P in the elevator together, dressed as girls standing next to each other. And Butch goes like, yo, you look good for real.
That's awesome.
And he's like, yo, fuck you. And they have just like a good like little moment. Also, Butch is a virgin, which comes up a few times. These guys are like figure 21, like early 20s, right? Butch is a virgin still. Postmaster P's grandmom gives him shit for this at one point. I think even the Reverend might even bring it up. It's a thing, right? And so they go, they get the they trick. Their plan works for the most part. Leprechaun smokes the 4-leaf clover joint, and then he doesn't die though. Like I thought he was gonna like explode or melt like he does in the first one. What's going on my hair? There we go. But he kind of just like passes out. So then they take the flute from him and they leave, right? And they go downstairs and Ice-T is there and he's really pissed because he needs the flute too, right? He blew up to be like this big artist and record label exec that he is because of this flute. So they get into a shootout and he fucking kills Butch. And Butch is like bleeding out and he goes, not an address, Post. And then he looks at him and he goes, yo, is there pussy in heaven? And then he dies. And he like he dies a virgin. And like and Post is like, so now Post feels like he got both of his friends killed. And he's like, dude. And like it's like kind of it's rough, right? It's like it's funny, but it's also not fun. It's rough, right?
I'm really convinced that you got the good ones here.
Dude, yeah, I'm telling you, my favorite. This one was the best.
Like you got to see all the good ones. I'm actually curious. I'm tempted to maybe go back,
just watch
and watch some of these. What's up, Uncharted Tombs?
What up, Uncharted?
Don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome if this is your first time.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, dude, I might have to go back and check some of these out, dude.
Yeah. So okay, just wrap up. So now it's just Post. Ice-T shows up. They get into a shootout. Post kills Ice-T. You think? He shoots him. Leprechaun comes down. Leprechaun's about to kill Postmaster P. And then Ice-T pops back up. And he's strapped. And he kills Leprechaun. Or he shoots Leprechaun. And then I think they get... Oh, no. Dude. So... Ice-T comes down, kind of shoots up Leprechaun. Dude, my hair is crazy.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Dude, he kind of shoots Leprechaun, right? And then I think he actually so Leprechaun kills Ice-T the same way he actually killed Ice-T's bodyguard earlier, which I forgot to mention, which is he just makes them like he just kind of like, wow. And their whole middle of their torso just fucking explodes. Right?
Okay. I feel like if you can do that, there's not really any reason to do anything else.
There's kind of a recurring thing of that where he has these crazy powers that he's just pretty selective about using. And so then that happened, and then it cuts. And then it cuts to this scene of Postmaster P. It's like years later, and Postmaster P is all cool looking, and he walks out onto the stage and he does like this whole solo song that kind of like recaps like his journey that he's gone through to get to where he's at now, and it's shown that he's like this big star now, right? But then he takes off his sunglasses at the end and his eyes glow green, which is what the girls at the earlier did, which is to show that they're controlled by the Leprechaun. And then it cuts. So like he has this whole scene on the stage, and then it like pans out into like the crowd, and they're at this club that the Leprechaun runs, and Leprechaun is just there and he's alive. And then the Leprechaun has a whole song, and it's not good. It's Warwick Davis literally rapping, and it's a rap. How they would do a rap, right? It's like one of those kind of things,
like Will Smith rapping.
Yeah, it's yeah. He's like it's like it's a lep in the hood up to no good. It's like something to that effect.
Sure,
right?
No, I can hear it. Yeah,
and so they do this whole song, and then Leprechaun's just alive at the end. And it's interesting because it's like almost implied that like Postmaster P either got taken over by him or almost like in a way like sold his soul to him to be able to become this big star. And yeah, and that's it. It was fun.
It's interesting because like And this is the same thing with the next one that I'm about to talk about. Is like there's like a cool like urban sort of almost cautionary tale horror film in here, and it it makes no like the fact that it's Leprechaun.
It's just jammed in there.
It feels so unnatural, and like I don't even understand how we landed here to begin with. To where you were like, oh, now we're gonna tell this like urban story of these up and coming rappers and make it a Leprechaun movie.
Because they get most of the screen time.
Yeah,
most of the movie's about them.
Yeah, and it's like so it feels like people trying to tell a specific story, and they're kind of hamstrung by the constraints of the franchise that they exist in.
Boys in the Hood was 91. Oh, interesting. Yeah, 100%.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds. There's like Friday. There's Menace to Society. Like these movies have been around up for a while up until this point.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the big one. That like to me would have been like, oh, them being like, oh, we should do one of those. Maybe Friday, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't have all the specific dates for those, so I don't know like what the time frame would have looked like. But they ran it back
again.
They just did it again.
Yeah.
So in this one, there's like this kind of cool. It's very stylized, like a storybook sort of intro with like illustrations of the leprechaun and like the gold and kind of like laying out the lore of that and how the greed corrupts from the gold. So it then cuts to like present day, and we're in Los Angeles, and there's like this pastor, and he finds this gold, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna use this to like make like a youth center. And the leprechaun shows up, and they get into like a scuffle, and the pastor is able to like pacify him with this holy water that is infused with 4-leaf clovers.
Cool. It's kind of sick, actually.
So the pastor dies, and the leprechaun gets like dragged into hell, kind of. And then so a year later, there's these two chicks, and they're kind of like, you know, they're not doing great. They're trying to survive. Basically, they don't have a ton of money, and they're like best friends. And they go see this clairvoyant, and she tells them their fortune or whatever. And basically, she tells them, you guys are going to come into a ton of money, but you can't accept it because it's going to come at a great cost. So then, obviously, we go forward a little bit. The two girls have this friend named Jamie, who is like, he's like a stoner. He's kind of the comic relief. He's very goofy. He's very over the top. And he's into the one girl named Lisa. And I don't remember the other girl's name. We got Lisa and Emily. So Jamie, the goofy guy, is into Lisa. And then Emily has this boyfriend who they recently broke up. And he used to be like a kind of cool, like he's on the straight and narrow kind of guy. And he recently has become a drug dealer. So they broke up, and he's kind of like on the fringes, but I think he's trying to get her back. And he's like kind of friends with Jamie, but he's like only hangs out with him to get closer to Emily because he's friends with Emily and Lisa. And so the movie goes on for a while, just kind of about their story without, like, it takes a while to get into the leprechaun of it all. So eventually they find the gold, and they're like, whoa, this is dope. like this is gonna change everything. Like we're gonna get out the hood, like we're gonna turn our lives around. And once they find all the gold, there's like this like 5-minute montage of like this song playing, and they're like Jamie's getting new clothes. Lisa and Emily are like, I think they get a new car because like Lisa's car is a piece of shit. And they're just like, hey, everything's dope, like everything's cool, like we up.
It was like a noticeably long montage.
Noticeably long montage, and eventually the leprechaun starts showing up. He like kills some of the people because he's trying to get his gold back from them, and they realize that they can't get the that they can't give the gold back to the leprechaun because they already spent it.
True.
And then they realize that the box that the gold was in just refills every time they open and close it. So then they're like, they pour all the gold out and then they close it and then they open it again and it's just filled with gold again.
Fucking sweet.
And so, yeah, the leprechaun shows up. He like smokes some weed again at a party with some people.
Doesn't he smoke a bong in that one?
Yeah, he smokes a bong.
Dude, he doesn't do that in the first in the hood. And I saw a picture the other day randomly on Twitter of like a behind the scenes footage of them having to show Warwick Davis, who's like half in a leprechaun outfit, like how to use the bong. And it was fucking sweet. I forgot to send it to you.
There's a cool kill here where he takes the bong and like stabs it into this dude and like his blood like fills the bong.
And he hits it?
No, I don't think he hits it. But it's like a cool visual.
I got really excited.
And so the one dude, his name's Rory, who's into Emily. They used to date. He's a drug dealer now. He's like caught up with these other guys who are like hardcore drug dealers. They get involved with the leprechaun. Leprechaun kills all them. Eventually, the leprechaun kills Lisa, which was a blow because she was pretty bad. I enjoyed seeing her in the film. And then in the finale, Rory fills up his hollow points in his gun with 4-leaf clovers. And
sick.
In the finale, he's like trying to finish off the leprechaun. And like every time he gets a couple shots off in him, like the leprechaun, like he starts to like leak out this essence that kind of floats around. And the way that it's filmed, you almost get the impression that if he had just gotten a couple more shots off, like it would have killed him. But something stops him to interrupt him. And so after enough time goes by, the essence kind of just goes right back inside of him.
Oh, shit.
And then, so they're fighting on top of like this, it's like there's construction going on and there's like a concrete, there's like wet concrete. It's like a pool of wet concrete at the bottom of this building. So they finally are like fucking around with this leprechaun, and let's see, there's something with a so Emily's like about to fall off the roof and Rory saves her, and then in a scene prior to this, I forgot to mention, there's like a furnace in the bottom of this building, and Emily like throws the gold in the furnace. And then
it doesn't kill him though.
No, it doesn't kill him. I'm not doing a great job of explaining these movies, man. Look, the point is,
yeah,
I wasn't enjoying it, and I think my my inability to kind of recount everything is a testament to that. And so what I'm taking away from all this is that we should really not, in future, let's talk about movies that we actually like, because this was like, I kind of envisioned us coming on here and like just kind of having a roast sesh, which we're effectively doing, but it's just it's too many movies, and and they're all like so kind of similarly derped and like and stupid, that it's just like, it's actually not that that as fun as I thought it would be.
This one this doesn't sound nearly as fun as 5 was, man.
And yeah, I do feel like I got the short end of the stick here, man. I really do. I thought it would be even because it's like, oh, we both get one in the hood.
Yeah.
You know,
I was like, you get in space. So that one's I was a bum that I didn't get the space one, you know.
Yeah. And I don't know. Basically, you know, they all survive except for Lisa, which sucks. They hit him off the building and he falls into the wet concrete. And then he sinks down and he gets trapped with his gold. So that's where that one ends. And the franchise was pretty dormant for a while after this, because I think the next one is Origins, and that isn't until, when did that come out? That's a more modern movie, right?
Yeah, Origins feels like late 2000s, maybe early 2010s.
This is 2014.
Yeah, wow.
Interesting. Okay, well, so I know that this one is apparently totally different in terms of what it's doing and its approach of the Leprechaun. So tell me about that.
Dude, so this movie is from Lionsgate.
They're all Lionsgate films.
This one is also from WWE Studios. And it's 80 minutes long.
Oh, well, that's good.
So all of that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on here. It starts off right away. There's this girl and this guy in the woods getting attacked by something that you don't really see. The production quality is noticeably like higher. Part of that is because of the era that this is being made in, right? But part of that is also like, oh, this looks like a real movie. We're in Ireland, right?
Okay.
No more Warwick Davis.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Huge bummer. So there's like this fight scene that happens, and then the two people in it die real quick. It's like a couple minutes at the beginning, and then you fast forward a little chunk of time, and you have like these 4 Americans who are on a vacation doing a tourist thing in Ireland, and they get dropped off to this town. The one girl is like they're like all like early 20s, late teens. The one girl is like a big history buff. They're in Ireland. This guy's driving them in a truck. They're trying to get to this village, and he's like, yo, this is where you get out. I don't drive that way. And like, you can't just drive us a little bit closer. And he's like, I'm not fucking driving over there. So like, whatever. So they walk to this town. They go into this bar, and they're talking about like what to do and where to go. And there's this Irish guy who overhears them, and he's like, yo, there are these old mines, like these old caves that have these like super spooky old rocks with like symbols and like hieroglyphs in them. If you're into history stuff, you should go see that. And the girl's like, damn, like I know the history of this place, never heard of that. He's like, I know, like that's all, like it's on the low, we don't really talk about it, but it's like the real history. So like, all right, cool. And he's like, it's really far, but I own this cabin that's really close to it, and like it'd be a long walk, but me and my son could drive you there, and then you can stay at my cabin, and then it's a short walk from there. And so it's like 2 couples. You got the history buff girl, and she's bad, and you got her boyfriend, and he's super fucking lame, and he's about to be going to college. So I guess they're supposed to be like just graduated high school, about to start college, or maybe no, they just graduated college, potentially going to like grad school, and he's trying to go to like some school on the East Coast and like Maine or Massachusetts or some shit. And she's like, I think I'm actually going to come with you instead of staying and going to Berkeley in California. And he's clearly salty about this because he's trying to go to college like without her. And then so they have like that kind of thing going on. And then the other couple they're with are just like mad horny, and they're just like hooking up the entire time. Classic like horror movie couple. And so the 3 of them, the horny couple and our main girl, are all like, we're down to go stay at this cabin. And the boyfriend's like, oh. And but he's outvoted, so they go. And then the son, so this guy's like, cool, I'll call my son, he'll pick us up, we'll go to this cabin. And as soon as the son comes up, he's all like angry looking. And right away I was like, damn, this looks like they're doing some kind of like sacrifice the outsiders thing, and the son isn't really into it, but is like coerced into it. And spoiler alert, that's exactly what is going on here. So they take our 4 people. They go to this little cabin. When they get to the cabin, something is like, we keep seeing this POV shot of something kind of like running in high grass, and it's like running towards them. And the guy fires like a shotgun at it a couple times, and he's like, like it's a wild boar. We got those out here, but like you should be fine. Don't worry about it. So they go into the house, the cabin. There's no electricity, but it's like kind of cute. So they go inside there, and then they go to leave, and the guy and his son are kind of like not, they don't look terribly happy, but they're kind of just like, all right. And the guy takes off his gold watch and like puts it on like a peg, like a nail outside the house. They lock the house up and they leave. And then in the middle of the night, one of the other girl thinks she sees something outside and freaks out. So they try to go outside, and they realize that they can't go outside because the door is locked from the outside. And they're like, this isn't cool. And up to this point, it kind of is like, it feels kind of spooky, right? Like none of the acting is like nothing is terribly good, but nothing is like bad, right? I'm not like, oh, this is like an awful film, right?
Sure.
It's all like very like standard stuff going on, but I was like, all right. And then they realize they're trapped in there, and then there's like this big old fireplace, and then this leprechaun comes out of it. And most of the shots that you see the leprechaun are from his POV, and he kind of has like heat vision effectively.
Okay.
And gold sticks out to him. It's like the girl like is all freaking out because they're like trapped in this house, and she's like, oh. And so she sits down on the ground, and you see this hand like reach up, and it grabs her earring and rips her earring off her ear. And they're like, oh my God. And then this leprechaun like storms in. You get very brief, quick shots of the leprechaun occasionally, and it like fucks the house up. And then they're like, oh shit, he came through the fireplace. Maybe we can go to the fireplace. So they realize that the fireplace had like a little door on the back. They get outside. And then the rest of the film is just like them trying to evade this leprechaun who's just like a little monster. He looks like a small sample of like the orcs from the OG Lord of the Rings. But like halfway, where they were like, hey, this is kind of like a sample. What do you think? And they were like, cool, this is good so far, but like go and finish it. It kind of looks like that. It looks like a skin, like a hairless, kind of like deformed, like small monkey, effectively, if you can picture that.
Yeah, so it seems like an interesting idea, because apparently they went back to like the actual history of like what how leprechauns were first conceived of.
Interesting.
Yeah, like in the, I was just looking at the Wikipedia. They call it a Tautha de Dinan. Which I guess that's like like a Irish thing. So like conceptually,
The Irish boogeyman, kind of.
yeah, having it be not a literal fucking dude with a pot of gold and like a little fucking hat and shit. Like, let's take this a little seriously is kind of the idea that it's how it sounds to me.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate on its face.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't really go for this like silly shit. You know,
Yeah.
like if a movie is like actually genuinely funny and like makes me laugh, like it sounds like Leprechaun in the Hood would.
Yeah.
Because your Leprechaun in the Hood sounds way better than mine was.
It was a fun time.
So yeah, like continue. I don't know if there was more.
Yeah, so they get out of the first house, they run to this other bigger house nearby. They run, and it's like all boarded up, so they like are safe in there. They go into the basement immediately for whatever reason. And our main girl finds a book which gives the background on what leprechauns are, which is like what you just told us.
Okay, cool.
And they find this like map that kind of shows that like there's these stones around town, and they're like, oh, the leprechaun doesn't go past these stones, I guess. We just need to get past the stones. And then they're like, oh, he likes gold, so like he's trying to get like his repayment. right? And so that scene is happening, and then we also get a scene right after that of the dad and the son up on like a hill, kind of looking down into like the area where the cabin is at, and the son is like, "Oh, this is fucked up," and the dad is like, "Look, like." He explains that like this leprechaun is here and he needs his repayment, and otherwise, so they're essentially like sacrificing people to the leprechaun to like appease him so that he'll like leave them alone. But it's not clear if he wants people or if he wants gold, because whenever he is going after people, when we see his POV, he's actually like going after like the gold that they have on him, but he's doing it in such a way that's like very like messy and uncoordinated, that he's also just like essentially killing them in the process while he's trying to take the gold off of them. But so within those two scenes, in a matter of like 2 minutes, the entire story and like backstory is just like explained to you real quick. And then the rest of the movie is just like our main four people trying to escape both the leprechaun and escape like the dad and the son and a couple other people from town who are trying to like keep them there so the leprechaun kills them.
That's kind of interesting.
But it's so generic. All of our characters are so thin that it's just like
all the other important things that make a movie good are just lacking, is what it sounds like.
It literally feels like this could have been written in like within a day. Like if someone was like, "Hey, here's kind of like we need a leprechaun movie. Here's kind of general premise. Go write this." Like they could have just went and banged it out real quick.
Okay.
There is I'm trying to think of kills that happen. Oh, at one point they go back into the cabin and they try to devise this plan to kill the leprechaun, but the leprechaun gets like the one girl, and instead of him running in, he like throws the girl in to the fireplace, and then our main girl is ready with an axe though, and she kills her friend by like axing her in the head, and it's like super brutal for like the rest of this film. It's like tonally like like okay. It's like up here on like 11, and the rest of the kills and stuff are on like around a 6. She's devastated by that naturally. The other guy, and then at one point they think they're getting away, and the bartender at the pub where they were at the beginning, who was really nice to them, this old lady, picks them up, and they're like, "Word, this old lady's she's helping us," but come to find out she's also in cahoots with everybody else. So then the other guys show up and they tie them to trees and leave them for the leprechaun, but they put like these like big janky like gold necklaces on them. And so then and that's what I'm saying. Like leprechaun shows up and he's like trying to like grab at the necklace, but he's like so there's like the one dude, big necklace, and the leprechaun's trying to like grab the necklace, but he's just like scratching the shit out of him in the process. And honestly unclear over the entirety of the whole thing whether like he wants gold or if he wants to feed on people, maybe both. But yes, that all happens. Our final girl eventually makes it out. Oh, and at the end, so our final girl, so everybody dies, right? Except for our final girl, naturally. Before then, she's up in this attic, and you think that she is about to die, and then the son, who never wanted to be a part of this to begin with, shows up, and he's strapped up, and he tries to kill the leprechaun, but he misses, and then his dad shows up, and then the leprechaun kills his dad, and then our final girl finally gets away, and then when she's almost all the way away, leprechaun shows back up, and they have a final face-off, and there's a knife, like kind of like a machete kind of thing in the ground that was left there from the couple that were at the quick little intro shot at the beginning that was kind of disconnected. But their like backpack and machete are like on the ground still. And the backpack has all this gold in it, which never really comes up aside from this last part.
Okay.
But she's like against this tombstone, and the leprechaun is about to get her, and she grabs the machete and she goes, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," which is a callback to the original one. And then she cuts his head off, and it's really sick. And then she gets away, and she's like running through the fields, and she gets past this like really big rock from the beginning. It honestly, I'm not saying this to be funny, it's very turd like. It looks like a vertical turd. but it's like a
Okay.
big rock with like symbols on it. And so she runs past that, and so I think that she's safe. But then the very last shot is this high wide shot, and you see these like trails being cut. You can't see anything in them, but you see like these trails being cut through the high grass towards her that go past the rocks, which implies that there's other leprechauns going to get her. And then that's it. And it felt much longer than 80 minutes.
That's a bad sign, dude.
Oh, wait. One last thing. When Sophie's the main girl, Sophie, when her boyfriend dies, the leprechaun's like dragging him through the home, and then he fucking grabs him like here and just rips his spine back like this, and it's like fully rips his spine from like the base of his neck just like out of his body, and it's brutal.
I know you're telling me it's bad, but it doesn't. It sounds better than my modern Leprechaun film.
Oh God.
Which is kind of the equivalent. Like the way these are spaced out is interesting because, like, we both got a hood one. We both got one of the early ones. We got one of the middle ones. Where Lep goes to a place, effectively Vegas and space. But yeah, so Leprechaun Returns is like a direct sequel to the first one, like I said. And this came out in 2018, which is the same year that Halloween 2018 obviously came out, which is a direct sequel to that movie.
Interesting.
I don't know if it was like just kind of the way it shook out, or if they were directly kind of because 2018 was effectively. Yeah, I don't know if they were cashing in because I think 2018 was effectively the first movie to kind of start that trend because we did start to see a lot of that after 2018. So yeah, regardless, they're back at the house from the first movie, I'm assuming. Like there's the well and everything. Only it's the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character.
Nice.
And she's like in a sorority now, and the sorority has like raised money to like purchase this property, and like they're like fixing it up, and it's all these sorority sisters are kind of the cast of the film, right? Which is like perfect slasher fodder. And there's like these two kind of like guys who hang around. I couldn't tell you anything about one of the guys, but the other guy is like a filmmaker, and he has like a drone, and he's like recording aerial footage of the farmhouse and everything. And he references like John Cassavetes and Robert Rodriguez and stuff, which is like interesting because of like this is such a fucking like bad movie. Like it's not there's no kind of class to this. It's a legacy sequel to Leprechaun, and they're like making references to Cassavetes. It's very weird. And so the Leprechaun is obviously played by someone different here. It's played by Lyndon Porco, who is another little person, obviously. I don't know what the correct nomenclature is, if they prefer dwarf or whatever. And he's basically just doing a Warwick Davis impression.
Okay.
It's fine. It's okay. He's definitely doing the best he could with what he was given. And so one of the only things that I actually liked about this movie was the kills. There's a couple good kills. There's like a scene where one of the sorority girls is like running through like a field with a bunch of sprinklers going off, and the leprechaun like makes one of the sprinklers like fly into her mouth, and there's like blood shooting out of it. That guy Ozzy is back.
That's crazy.
He has the gold coin like in his stomach, and then the leprechaun like emerges from his stomach, like killing him pretty quickly into the movie.
Oh wow.
except he comes back later as like a ghost that only the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character can see, and she like sees him throughout the movie and is like talking to him, but no one else can see him.
That's crazy.
There's another scene where the drone comes back into play and like decapitates the filmmaker dude. Yeah, man, like I honestly couldn't even really tell. Like it's super just standard fare. Like it's odd because it's like it's like a slasher movie where the Leprechaun's kind of picking them off one by one, and like there's not really much rhyme or reason to it. Like he just kind of pops up. There's like the main girl is like had a rough childhood because her mom thought like eventually was like she goes crazy from the events of the first movie and like dealt with that for a while and just constantly thought there was monsters coming after her, and then she got cancer and then died.
Wow, that's rough.
So it just feels like they were like, okay, how can we like get her out of the picture though?
Rough, dude.
Like just the fact that she's crazy isn't enough, right? Like people are gonna wonder where she's at. And then so she's like and then she like realizes the leprechaun was real, and she's like, oh, my mom wasn't crazy. And it's like this big, I don't know, it's supposed to be like, I guess you'd say character development.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to it, man. It's pretty rough. They use iron to stop him.
That doesn't come up in mine. They come up a couple times in yours.
Yeah, it happens in 2 where they trap him in a safe. I don't know if I mentioned that or not.
He's in a couple safes in mine, but they never refer to like the iron being a part of it though.
Okay. Yeah, they electrocute him. They blow up the house in the process, so the house is gone. And then the leprechaun lives, and he like hitches a ride somewhere else. I guess like teasing a sequel or something. I don't know.
That just never.
Dude, I mean, by this point, I was just so checked out. Like I couldn't necessarily like walk you through the events of the movie. It wasn't grabbing me, man. It wasn't. These are all pretty bad movies, at least the ones I got to watch. And that's where we're at, man. This was in 2018. We haven't had an official Leprechaun movie since then, and honestly, I don't think we need any more. I think we could have stopped after Back to the Hood, honestly.
Dude, it's kind of crazy that they consider like the non-Warwick Davis ones seems so different than the ones with him in it that it's like it just like seems weird. Like 7 is like a drastic departure from the previous ones in every way.
Which, like I said, sounds like it might have been a good idea, and then I guess that wasn't received well. So then they were like, "Okay, let's go back to the well." Literally,
yeah.
That's
what they should have. That's what they should have called it.
Yeah, right. And then just kind of ran it back but it's like it's super low budget. Like it's a sci-fi film. Like the Sci-Fi Channel produced it.
Wow, interesting.
Like it's just super low budget. There's not an actor in here that you'd recognize. Unless you saw the first Leprechaun movie, I guess, and knew Ozzy. Like the dialogue is cringe and bad, and it's just bad. There's nothing I would say is like worth of merit here.
Dude, in 7, the Leprechaun is played by a professional wrestler.
Yeah, Hornswoggle.
Yeah, he's like an OG professional wrestler. And he's in this. That's why WWE is involved, or vice versa.
Gotcha. Yeah, WWE's been involved in like a few. They made that Oculus movie. One of Mike Flanagan's first movies. They like helped make that.
Dude, they oh no, I'm thinking of the other one again. I'm thinking of the Childish Gambino one. What movie was that?
The Lazarus Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, which is great.
Yeah, I think they did a couple of those like See No Evil like horror movies with Kane, the wrestler, as the killer.
That makes sense.
They've done a few, like they've kind of thrown their hat in the ring as far as like producing films.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but dude, I have to pee really bad.
That's I mean that's Leprechaun, man.
Yeah, I wish there was more excitement or like positive takeaways on my behalf. Yeah.
Next St. Patrick's Day, watch 5. Just watch 5. 3 maybe, but watch 5 is good.
Yeah, I'm curious to like actually know for sure how rough my crop was versus because you don't actually. Do you have any? I definitely didn't give a compelling reason to, but I wouldn't. If I was you, I wouldn't want to go back and watch any of these.
Nah, yours are weird. Like especially 2 and 4, like they were trying to do like a weird love interest thing, which doesn't come up in mine at all, and it doesn't seem like aligned with like Leprechaun being like, I gotta go get my gold. I'm like, all right, I buy that, you know.
Yeah, 2 is like the driving force of it is like this guy trying to get it. Like he's literally saving his girl from the Leprechaun. Yeah, and then like the Hood movies are like people making like Boys in the Hood, but but also having to force the Leprechaun in, which just is funny, I guess. But that's it, man. I think that's gonna be it for us tonight.
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and talking about Leprechaun. We're gonna do something we collectively are more interested in next time, and not talk about 8 movies.
Yeah,
I think is another that's kind of a harder thing to do sometimes, especially if they're movies you don't necessarily like. I kind of realized halfway through, I was like, oh, this is not going to be, because I don't have anything good to say about these movies, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of be enthusiastic about it. So
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do something better next time. So
yeah.
All right, guys, that was it for us. Happy St. Patty's Day, and we'll be back. Will we be back in March with like a 2 dudes, maybe?
No, very beginning of April.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, take care and watch more movies.
Nayo.